Hi everybody, it's Alena Naron, also known as Miss Joy and Happiness. I wanted to tell you what happened on Friday. I wasn't in the best of mood when I woke up on Friday morning, so off to Starbucks I went. I was almost in the drive-thru line when, unexpectedly, there stood a homeless guy with a shopping cart. My heart always goes out to the less fortunate. So, of course, I rolled down my window and yelled, "Hey, you want a coffee?" He responded, "No, but I would like something to eat." I said, "Ham or bacon?" He said bacon, so I knew what kind of sandwich I would order him once I made it through the drive-thru. A lot of things went through my head as I was waiting. 4 cars in front of me and anxious to get my own coffee. My attitude, my little bit of grumpiness went away flash like that after seeing him standing there. He wasn't an alcoholic. He wasn't a drug addict. He just looked like a nice guy, down on his luck. I had now made it through the drive-thru with his breakfast sandwich and a tall glass of ice water. And where most people would just hand it to him and wish him some luck, I actually parked my car. I went up to him, told him my name, asked him his. His name was Ricky, 38 years old. A handsome-looking guy. But before I could find out the rest of his story, I shook his hand and said something kind, looked into his eyes with acknowledgement and respect, because we all need that. Makes you feel better about yourself, having someone look you directly into your eyes with trust, acknowledgement. I could see the walls come down that he had built up, and he began to share. I told him I only had a few minutes, but if I was able to come back to the same location within the next hour or two, what would he like for me to bring him? He said, "You've already done enough." And I said, "No, you don't know me. I haven't done enough at all. I want to do more." He didn't know what to say, so I bombarded him with a bunch of questions. What size do you wear? What do you like to eat? What do you need? He really didn't answer me. So I got a little bossy and I said, "Listen, young man, you better stay right here until I come back." I jumped in the car. I looked back and I saw him smiling with his sandwich in his hand and the drink in another. I immediately called my mom. Ricky just happened to be my daddy's size. How convenient was that? I called my mom and I told her I would be stopping by to collect some of Daddy's old clothes. She was going to donate them to the thrift store soon anyway. Once I made it to my mom's house, my mom also is a giving soul. That's probably where I get it from. We went through her cabinets and anything from Nutella, sardines for protein, cookies, soap, little trial-size shampoos. Within minutes, voila, I was in the car with clothes, toiletries, foods of all kinds that would be easy for him to travel with, and that would be a blessing to him. I just prayed and prayed and prayed that once I made it back, he would be there. Guess what? Made it back with SUV full of odds and ends. He was nowhere to be found. And I was upset. Sure, I had other things to do that morning, but God obviously was calling me to be someone else's blessing, someone else's angel that Friday morning. So I kept saying, God, where is he? Where is he? Ricky also had several health conditions that he shared with me before I had left the first time. So I knew he couldn't get far. So I went to another neighborhood parking lot where other stores were, thinking, well, maybe he's over there. He wasn't. I could feel myself stressing out because I wanted to find him. And I wanted to make him happy. So I parked my car in the same location where I had originally given him his sandwich. And I thought, you know what? When all else fails, pray and walk. Pray and walk. So I started to walk around the Lowe's parking lot, talking to God and praying. And after I had made a big square, guess who's coming right towards me from afar with his shopping cart? No other than Ricky. I screamed, "Hey, you stay right there. You're near my car. I have things for you." It was as if Ricky had won the lottery. He kept saying, "Ma'am, where am I going to put these things?" I said, "That's not my concern. You need them. You know you do. You'll find a way to carry them." He kept saying, "What will I do with this and with that?" And I said, in a day or two, all of these things will be gone, and you'll need more. So just go with it. God sent me to be your blessing today. I told him to forgive me for not bringing more things I would have liked to, but on a spur of the moment, I had done all I could. So I then asked him, "What would you like to eat for lunch? And if I went to the grocery store right now, what would your grocery list look like?" Again, he was overwhelmed. He said, I can't ask anything of you." This man was so kind. Even initially when I got out of the car to hand him his sandwich and his Starbucks water, he never asked me for a dime. Nothing. So I said, "Okay, when's the last time you had fruit?" His eyes became wide and just excited. And he goes, "Are you serious?" He said, "Fruit's expensive. I don't get fruit very often." I said, "Well, guess what? You will today." I said, "What about nuts for protein?" He said, "I can only afford now and then to go into the dollar store and get peanuts." He told me certain things that he was allergic to, so I knew exactly what to get. There was a Walmart Supercenter across the street. By this time, it was only around 10 a.m. As I walked through the Walmart, just such humbleness, such gratitude for the life I do have. The food, the clothes, the finances. I'm beyond blessed. but how it made my heart feel to go down the aisles and know that even if it was going to be just for today or maybe tomorrow, that this young man would have food and that he would feel like somebody cared about him was just everything to me. A few times I was a bit overwhelmed because what do you buy? He doesn't have a refrigerator, he doesn't have a microwave, he doesn't have a cooler, so I had to be smart in my choices. In fact, I think I filled my cart with too many things and I actually had to put some back. As I was going down the aisle for nuts and snacks to surprise them with a big can of Planters mixed nuts, this old country song came on that I have not heard in probably 15 years. I don't remember, I'll have to Google it, but I don't remember the artist's name. But basically, it was like God's message to me. And the chorus kept saying, "You don't owe me a thing. You don't owe me a thing." And that's how I felt. This man didn't owe me a thing. It was my good pleasure to bless him. So now with rotisserie chicken, cookies, utensils, handy wipes, nuts, little vegetables with flip-top cans, there were quite a few things. So that's the short list. I went back to the parking lot, and once again I didn't see Ricky. I waited 5 minutes, and he had apologized for not being there. He in fact had to use the restroom, and he had gone back in the woods. People, how we judge homeless people we see on the streets. We don't know their story. We truly don't. The fact that we have a car to drive, food, clothes, shelter, a job, a family, a support system, and hopefully some money in the bank. When I delivered all the groceries to him I had bought at Walmart, I asked him his story. At 36, he had some health problems. He used to live up north. Some family dynamics that he couldn't get along with an ex-father-in-law, and he could no longer stay with his mom. A car accident which made him lose his job. He became homeless. Where all of us are guilty in judging, oh, it would never happen to us. You know, pride, ego, whatever you want to call it. Guess what? Ricky's story can be your story. In a blink of an eye. A car accident, an illness, a divorce, a tragedy, a falling out with family. You never know. To hear the plight, the sheer honesty, because again, this man, he's like, "Ma'am, I don't drink, I don't do drugs. I've had other kind people try to help me out like yourself, other angels I call them. But the services, they'll only put me up for a night or two and then out on the street I go. Or else, the homeless shelter, they expect me to pay $30 or $40 a night. And if I don't beg on the corner, which again in Florida, if I do, I run the risk of being put in jail." He can't get to his doctor because he's 20 minutes across town. So therefore, his pain is unbearable. And he just has to trust God. He has no shelter, only a sleeping bag. I had not planned on spending the next 45 minutes with Ricky. But after I asked him many questions, the one that got me the most was, "I sure hope you found some friends." He said he had not, because ma'am, most people on the street are either consumed with drugs and alcohol, and I'm not. I prefer to stay to myself. I keep trying to get acquainted with this person or that person, but once I see their true character and what they're all about, I'd rather be by myself. So I knew right then and there God wanted me to talk to him as a friend. So there I stood in the Lowe's parking lot, Ricky by his shopping cart and me by my car, just talking to him as a human being. And even if it was only for 45 minutes, as a friend. A lot happened, and still yet I'm too overwhelmed to express and say it all. But if you only knew the odds against those that are on the streets, your heart would do more. It would be easier for you to take that $1 out of your pocket, or even that $5, and hand it to them through the window as they stand on the street. It would be easy for you to go through the drive-thru and drop off that sandwich and know that their tummies won't be hungry, even if it's only for a little while. As soon as I came home, the first time, I Googled different services. Ricky wasn't lying. There's not much help for the people out there. It's only temporary. And most of them need more than temporary help. They need help emotionally, physically, and they need an open door to help them financially. It's called a job. And they need shelter to keep them out of harm's way. When I said my goodbye to Ricky, and I let God work through me, through empowering words and through the ultimate empathy and compassion, to let him know that I care, and I'm sure there's others out there too that want the best for him. I told him I would say prayers for him, and I hope to see him again. And I would, in fact, have a little care box in the back of my car that if I did, in the next few days, he would have some other things to fill his cart and his tummy. I paused for a moment when I got in the car to buckle my seatbelt. Ricky was already walking away with his shopping cart. He must have thanked me 7 times. I just kept telling him, "You don't owe me a thing." Once again, I found more gratitude today. And one glance back at Ricky before I pulled away, the smile on his face was everything. How many people does it take to make a difference? 1. And I was that one to Ricky. So I encourage you to stop judging people and get off your boom boom and do something nice for someone else today. God will bless you in so many ways if you do. And He will bless He allows us to bless people out there that have lost hope, that people like you and I actually care. I'm sorry for the tears, but we have to do more if we expect to receive more, expect to be more. We are human beings. We aren't perfect. But can't we treat others in a more kind way? So on that note, please pay it forward with kindness. If you need coaching, I'm here for you. Please give me a call. If you need prayer, I would love to pray for you. If you need healing, God's gifted me with that in my hands too. And if you need encouragement, please follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and please subscribe to my channel. With love and light, Miss Joy and Happiness. Happy day.